Tired of pushy recruiters sending you LinkedIn requests for jobs you have no interest in? Tired of blasting out resumes into the dark? If so, you should check out Hired.com. Hired.com flips job searching on its head by having top employers like Facebook come to you after you fill out one simple application. You also get your own job coach to help you on your next job search. If you haven't checked it out, I highly recommend you at least fill out the application. Just go to Hired.com/simple programmer, and when you get hired with Hired, you'll get double the normal sign-on bonus for using that link. Hey, what's up? John Sonmez here from SimpleProgrammer.com. I'm here in the Tuscany region, just outside of Florence in Italy. And buongiorno. But I wanted to answer a question. Now, this was kind of interesting, or actually give a response to a story that I got via email from a young gentleman, and give some advice on this. So the subject line of this was, boss brought up, I was 1 minute late! Exclamation. Hi, John. My name is Caleb. I've been subscribed to your channel for a while and been watching a lot of videos, and you have a lot of great content and advice. Well, thank you, Caleb. I'm 16. Man, I got a lot of youngins out there from New Zealand and pilot training. That's cool. I've been working at a supermarket part-time for the last 5 months. I've always been on time, in fact, often early, and often come in early when requested to help and stay, and have stayed overtime when need be. I've picked up many extra shifts when they need more staff also. Today I showed up 1 minute late, and my duty manager noticed this and brought it up with my supervisor, who asked me why I was late. I realized being late is bad and I'm in the wrong, but it was my first time being late, and only by 1 minute. She claimed 2 minutes. After all the times I've helped her out, she questioned me about that. We have had no previous problems at work and get on well. All my other colleagues who heard about this thought it was ridiculous. Would love to hear your thoughts on this. Kind regards, Caleb. Man, Caleb, I've got so many things to talk about this. When I first read this, I had some ideas going through my head, so hopefully I'll be able to keep some of those ideas, because some of them have disappeared from my head. But what was I going to say here? Okay, so where to start? This sucks. Bullshit, right? That's bullshit. Let's start there. Let me tell you this. That's bullshit. I agree with you. Fucking bullshit. Right? I mean, you're 1 minute late. You've done all this stuff for them. You've helped them out. You've been the stellar employee, right? Probably better than anyone else there. Harder worker than everyone else. You show up, you take extra shifts, right? You do all this stuff, and you show up 1 minute late, and this is the things you get. You get fucking yelled at because you're 1 minute late. Like, no one appreciates it. Like, you don't deserve to be able to be 1 minute late if you want to be 1 minute late. Fucking bullshit. Totally agree with you. But couple of things here. First of all, here's a good lesson in life that you just learned, which is when you work for the man, you work for the man. The man owns you, right? When you work for someone else, that it's kind of a form of slavery. It's like indentured servitude, right? They control your paycheck. They control your food, your shelter, right? You got to live. You got to eat to live, right? You got to sleep somewhere. They're the ones who are paying for that, so you got to take a lot of shit from people. Not necessarily a bad thing all the time. It's good to be able to take some shit. A lot of people can't take shit, and they need to learn how to take some shit. But that's what it is. That's what life is. So you got to decide. I mean, this is a good lesson to learn at 16, is that, hey, do you want to work for the man all your life? I don't know. Maybe you're fine with that, but maybe not. So, some people, it's totally fine decision to make, but just realize that that's what it will entail. You will always have this over you. So as long as you're working for someone else, you don't own your life. You don't have freedom, right? As long as someone else is controlling your fate. And it's not entirely true. You could work for someone else and not have them control your life and your fate, right? I mean, if you've got enough savings and you got enough experience and you're in high enough demand, you can go and work for someone else. And if someone says, hey, you're a minute late, you can say, you know what? Deal with it. I'm coming in when I want to come in, right? As a grocery bagger or whatever, working at a grocery store, stocking shelves, or what'd you say you've been working at a supermarket. I don't know what you said you're doing there, but you're not going to have that liberty. Let's be honest, you're not going to have it. But I'm just saying, like, if you're valuable enough, right? I mean, if you're like the head nuclear physicist at a nuclear lab, right? That's, you know, whatever, some making breakthroughs and selling millions of dollars or sending people to Mars or something. You can kind of set your own terms, right? And you can still work for someone else. So, but if you're the owner of the company, you can do whatever the fuck you want, right? Or if you're independently wealthy, right, you can do whatever the fuck you want. Or if your expenses are so low, if your needs are so low that you don't care, that you're like, I need, like, I'll live off of $300 a month, I don't give a shit, like, then you also don't care, right? So it's just something, a life lesson, right? Just something to think about, okay? You know, I know this isn't really what you wanted to get out of this, but we got to start there, because I think that's important, because this is very, very apparent here. Next, so let's talk about proper response in this situation. So, I agreed with you that this is bullshit. But the proper response here, right, what you got to do here is you got to realize that, like, you got to think always strategically, right? So how can this benefit, like, what things could you do that could benefit you and what things would not benefit you, right? And it depends on the context, and it depends on the situation, it depends on the job, right? Because I might be telling a software developer something different, right? I may be telling him, like, someone who's got a senior, who's got a lot of experience, is valuable to a company. I may be telling him, hey, you know, you tell him, hey, look, this is what, yeah, I'm 2 minutes late. Got a problem with that? Like, what can I say? That's what it is. Well, you got some consequences you want to deal out, go ahead. But, you know, this is it, right? That's probably not the best situation for you, right? Probably not the best way to deal with it. You got to think that in your head, right? You can't let them intimidate you, and you don't want to cower in your corner. But the thing is, like, you agreed to be there at a specific time, and they care about that time, and you weren't there. So the best thing to do is not to call, like strategically for you, again, is not to, like, to say all the stuff that you did for them and to think of this as such a great wrong, just to realize that this is just how fucking life is, especially when you're low on the totem pole, right? You know, the shit rolls downhill, as they say, right? So when you're low on the totem pole, you're going to get the shit. It's going to roll down the hill. It's going to roll down to you. And when it rolls down to you, you're just going to have to say, thank you, sir, may I have another, right? That's the best response, because that's going to give you the most benefit. The other responses aren't going to give you any benefit. You don't have any leverage, right? You got no leverage. So what do? You say, again, you don't apologize. Apologizing is for the weak. I did a video a long time ago on apologizing. I probably have some revised thoughts on it, but you can still check that out. But you don't apologize. You just say, you just own it, right? Right? This is where the stupid Uber CEO fucked up so bad. What an idiot. He didn't own it. Just fucking own it. Right? I mean, yeah, he did some stupid shit, but own the stupid shit. Don't apologize and be like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm immature, whatever. Give me a fucking break. That's why you're not the CEO anymore. If you would have owned it, if you said, look, yeah, I did that. I did it. So what? I'll take whatever consequences you got. Whatever you're going to give me, I'll deal with it. That's fine, but I did it. And I'm not sorry. Maybe it wasn't the best decision, but it's my decision. I'll stand by it. That's how you fucking deal with life, right? You don't cower, you don't apologize, you don't, right? I'm not saying there's never time to apologize. I mean, when you really, really fuck up and really hurt someone, yeah, apology is warranted. But when you when you're 1 minute late for work or 2 minutes late for work, you don't fucking apologize for that shit. No, you take it like a man, right? Again, you know, some of you are gonna say, oh, what about a woman? Fine, take it like a woman, whatever. I'm just using a figure of speech here, okay? So what do I mean by that? I mean, you say, yes, I believe I was 1 minute late. I was 2 minutes late. Fine, I was 2 minutes late. Okay, what is my consequence for that? Like, what, you know, I'm not making an excuse. I fully am ready to accept my consequence, and whatever you got to do, I totally understand it. You're right. I am late. I have no excuse. Right? But there's no excuse for me. And then let them go from there. Okay? That's the best way to handle this kind of situation. It's the brave way to do it. It's the standing by it's being firm, right? It's not cowering, it's not apologizing. At the same time, it's not being an asshole, like a self-entitled asshole saying, you know, oh, who cares if I was 2 minutes late? I did all this work for you. That's the pussy way. Honestly, it is. Like, you don't do that. And I'm not saying you did that. I don't think you did that, right? But you just take it. You just realize that this is just part of the idea. I mean, this is the shit rolling down the hill, and you know, and here's what I would do is just, you know, here's the thing. Again, I did this video on being late. Okay, you can check that out here if we can find that. If you're new to the channel, by the way, it should be the I here for the cards, or maybe it's on the other side, I don't know. But in the description, there's always links, right? I always link to other videos. So what was I gonna say here? So here's the thing, okay? So what you should do, or here's what it is, okay? So if you are on time, you're late, all right? On time is 5 minutes early, 5 to 10 minutes early. That's on time. Later than that is late. Earlier than that is too early, okay? If you're on time, you're 5 minutes early. So in order to be 5 minutes early, you got to be 20 minutes early, because you can't control traffic on average, right? Maybe you need to be 30 minutes early. You need to know what is the variability, right? Let's use some math here, right? What's the variability here that's possible based on traffic and things like that, so you don't have any fucking excuse. So if I am working your job, right? Let's say I'm driving like 10 minutes to work or whatever, or I don't know, maybe I'm walking. My job starts at, let's say, 6 a.m., okay? So I am in the parking lot at 5:30 a.m. every day. That's my goal, is to be there half an hour early. Why? At that half an hour mark, what I'm going to do is I'm going to sit in my car, or I'm going to sit on the side of the road. I'm going to listen to my pep talk, listen to some Tony Robbins, or I'm going to read a book, or I'm going to fucking watch some YouTube videos. I'm going to have some kind of daily ritual routine, priming, pumping myself up, getting ready for the day for 25 minutes. When 25 minutes rolls around, I'm going to stroll into there 5 minutes early every day, and they're going to say, how the fuck are you so punctual every single fucking day? You're 5 minutes early, exactly on the fucking dot. It's because, I'm not going to tell them, but I sit in the parking lot for 25 minutes, and I do it every single fucking day. And the days when something goes wrong and I only end up getting there 10 minutes early, I still have 5 minutes to chill before I have to go there. You see what I'm saying? So you kind of did screw up. I mean, I think it's bullshit. I agree with all that, but yeah. So that's how you solve this problem in the future, and it's a good life lesson to learn this, right? And it's not like I do this all the time. I mean, I fucked up. I've been late plenty of times, but if being punctual is important, and especially when you have a job like this, that's a shitty job, to be honest with you. Final thing I'd say is, don't bring this up with your coworkers. In fact, here's probably what happened to you, right? Probably what happened to you is that, you know, people don't like it when you're awesome, all right? I know that people they're like, man, even your boss doesn't like it, right? It's like, you know, never show up the emperor, right? That's a bad, you know, I was in Rome and they're talking about that. It's like, you know, there's a story from 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene. I can't remember the exact story. It's been a while. I need to reread the book, but he's talking about, who did he show up? I can't remember the exact story, but he basically showed up like the prince or something. One of the guys that was one of the high up guys. He threw this party, right, that was extravagant, and it was all in honor of the prince or the king. It was in honor of the king, and the king didn't like that shit because it was better than his party, right? But it's all in the honor of the king, right? You think that'd be great. So sometimes you're doing a good job and you think, man, my boss is gonna be happy. I'm doing such a good fucking job. I'm doing such a good job for this guy, but he's not. You're showing him up. He doesn't like that shit, and so he's ready to. Your shift supervisor, whatever it is, your coworkers, they're gunning for you, man. They're patting you on the back. They're like, oh man, you're just such a good job. You're so appreciated here. Thank you for coming in early. Thank you for staying late. All this stuff, and no, they're actually seething. They're actually waiting to take you down, and that's just how life is. When you're successful in life, people will be waiting to take you down. Your best friends, your family. It's not their fault. It's just human nature, okay? It's the crabs in the bucket, right? What's Stephen Pressfield in the War of Art says, the greatest treason a crab can commit is to make a leap for the rim of the bucket. That's what he says in that book. Read that book, by the way. I'll put a link. But anyway, that's probably what happened to you. So what I would say is a couple things. One, don't brag about your accomplishments and about what you're doing. If you're going to stay late and work hard and stuff, which I'm not sure I would recommend that, because see, there's no benefit to you, right? A lot of people think, you know, I'm sidetracking here, but a lot of people think, oh, I'm working hard, I'm working overtime, I'm working for the man, doing all this stuff, they're going to appreciate me. No. People don't remember all the good shit that you do. They remember the one bad thing that you do, right? And so, again, I'm not saying don't do good shit. I mean, work hard when you're there, do your job, right? But don't give the man more than he has to, right? You're getting paid for a certain amount of time. work that time. Don't work overtime without being paid. Don't work extra hours and stuff. I'm not saying that you can't throw in a hand, right, and stuff, but don't be one of those kind of, I don't want to say brown noser, but someone who just like is trying to get ahead by being a pleaser. Don't be a pleaser, okay? Stick to your morals, stick to your own set of convictions, stick to your own principles, and be a hard worker, right? But when the job's done, right? Okay, so anyway, my point in saying that is, like, don't brag about the good stuff you're doing and the accomplishments that you're having, and don't tell your coworkers and don't talk about this shit, right? I think that was a big mistake. I don't think you should have said about what happened to you discipline-wise and being late and the whole story and all this, and shared it, because that shit has a way of getting around and twisting it, and it, like, people are looking to take you down. Like, what you got to do, right? This is what you got to do, okay? When you take shit, you do it, like, with a smile on your face. Like, when I said, thank you, sir, may I have another? That's the attitude you walk through life with, right? You say, life gives you some shit. Someone does something to you. You don't let them have the privilege of thinking they done you wrong. They harmed you in some way. That's a victim mentality, my friend. We don't let people harm us. No. We smile and we take it and we ask them for another, right? Why? Because we're so full of ourselves and such badasses that we can? Yeah, that's why. No, partially. It's because we don't give people the satisfaction of taking us down, right? And when you don't give people the satisfaction, when you don't give them that satisfaction of taking you down, they realize it's not fun to pick on the guy that doesn't respond, the stoic guy that's like, fucking give me more, right? They're like, I'm tired of beating this guy. It's not fun. It's not fun pulling his teeth. He doesn't fucking respond. He doesn't fucking care. Let's just fucking kill him, right? Maybe that's not it's a better result than being tortured to death, I suppose. But you see what I'm saying? It's like, don't respond. Just shrug it off. Just be like, just take your whippings, and then just go on and don't. And someone just asks you, oh man, that was fucked up. But like, no, I was late. It's fine. And that's how you live it. That's how you do it, man. That's how you do it. So this is great. And here's the last thing I'm going to give to you. This was a great thing that happened to you. It was a great thing that happened to you because you got to learn a lot of fucking lessons about life, about how life is unfair, right? How the shit rolls down the hill, how to respond, how to be stoic, right? All these things. Hopefully you've gained from those things. So, and you've provided me a great example to talk about here. So, some of this may have come out harsh to you. Not personal at all. I think you're awesome, right? I think that you're asked this question. That's awesome. And I don't think that, hell, what are you, 16? You're way wiser than I was at 16. Way wiser than most 16-year-olds, right? All 16-year-olds that I know of. So don't take this as any kind of discouragement. This is 100% encouragement. Keep it going. Doing a little PewDiePie impersonation. All right. That's all I got for you today. If you like this video, make sure you click that subscribe button. Make sure you click the bell. Click the bell so you don't miss any videos. I'll talk to you next time. Take care.